What's up, fight fans and YouTube family? We're back at it with another edition of Round 1 Sports TV. Yo, let's talk about it. Naoya Inoue and Marlon Taples just wrapped up their legendary matchup for all four belts at the 122-pound weight division for undisputed status. Let's talk about it, all that and more. So you already know, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, give the videos a like, share the videos, and so, Naoya Inoue and Marlon Taples, man, what a fight. And I got up a little late, well, I thought early, and the fight kicked off a little bit earlier than I thought. I ended up catching the tail end, a little disappointed. I went on live, but I really needed time to really sit down and watch the fight through. So I just did that. I watched the fight actually twice. And I learned a lot in this fight. Right, I learned that Marlon Taples, I spoke about this, about switching your styles up, and I was real interested to see what approach Marlon Taples was going to bring to this fight. He had it and he lost it at the same time in the fight. He was doing what I thought would be a good, effective game plan against him. And then Marlon Taples needed to pick up on subtle things like the Japanese superstar did. For instance, in the fight, Marlon Taples saw in the first two rounds the approach that he was trying, which more was he wanted that in close fight. He wanted to put pressure on the Japanese superstar to get him to go backwards like most fighters do. Instead, the Japanese superstar was willing to stand in the pocket and exchange with him. And at times when he wanted to prove to him that he can take his punches, the Japanese superstar knew, you want to stand in the pocket with me? Here, I'll give you something to stand here for. And he got some clean shots, hard shots in between his guard, and he wrapped a couple shots downstairs, and he just dropped Marlon Taples, right? So Marlon saw that that wasn't a good approach, but Marlon came out and he switched his style up. For the first time in a while that I can remember, I actually saw the Japanese superstar lose a round. Yes, that is correct. Marlon Taples won the 7th round, hands down. And the reason why he did that is because he switched up his style. He didn't show the Japanese superstar the same look. He went into the Philly shell defense and he started to catch him. Now, case in point, right? Look, before I bring this up, in this fight, right, it was a lot of interesting points that I was touching on. I told you Marlon Taples is very good on throwing his punches, and he had good timing. You want to take a good look for an example for that? The opening seconds in round number 7, when Marlon Taples comes out, he surprises the Japanese superstar right off the back with that jab, snapped his head back. Then he started rolling his shoulder and rolling with some of the punches, but what he did wrong is that the Japanese superstar couldn't get him, right? And he was rolling, he was giving him a different angle. And he couldn't get his foot over and step, and he kept missing. And Taples had him missing. And then he started countering. The Japanese superstar was like, wait a minute. And he started, but what he did is he, at one point in the fight, in that round, he doubled up on the right. And Marlon didn't shift back. He stood there. And the minute that he hit him with that right, he knew then the way to get through to this is to double up on the right. The next round he came out, that's exactly what he did. You see, that's an elite fighter. It doesn't take him 3 or 4 rounds to figure that style out. He already came up an answer to the problem. You see? So that's why I say that The Japanese superstar is a really exceptional fighter. He understands a lot of things and what's going on in there. When Marlon had something from him, and then Marlon came out, and even though that technique was effective, he came out in a different style in the high guard in the next round. You see? But when he started getting in trouble, he tried to go back to the Philly shell defense, but by that time he had sustained too much damage. At some point in the fight, Marlon tried to sit there and try to really go power. I'm not going to say power for power with the Japanese superstar, but he wanted to show that he wasn't going to be hurt by it. And that wasn't the way to go. He took some unnecessary punches trying to push the Japanese superstar back. And that's exactly what I talked about in this fight. That's what you were going to have to do. But it showed tonight. If you switch it up on him, you can really keep him guessing and second guessing on the way that you were coming in. You have to devise a game plan for 12 rounds. And each round, you have to come up with a game plan and train over in fight camp. And this is what you're supposed to do. You see? So I believe they learned a lot from him, but a lot of questions were answered in this fight. Could, with a good game plan, someone real durable, could they take the monster the distance? This was a lefty right here that was very crafty, but let's keep it in mind that you would need everything Marlon Taples has and then some. Okay, because had it not been for the Japanese superstar, Marlon would be undisputed champion of the world right now. That's how far his skills brought him. Yes, it brought him right to the dance. So that goes to show how good he is. So the fact that another question of mine was answered, he is going to stay in the 122-pound weight division. And he's going to look to defend all 4 belts to get that out of the equation. He's a smart man. He says he want to make the 122-pound his new home. I find that a little... I believe once he defends the titles one time, he's going to say, that's it. And I think he's going to leave. Well, we're going to, time's going to find out, reveal itself on that one. But he may leave, to the 126, depending on who's there, dollars and cents. But I believe that Top Rank got his back. Bob Arum will push for these fights. The crowds that he's selling out, the arenas that he's selling out there in Japan. I believe that some of his next fights are going to be here in America. Now that he has established himself in his home. So he really needs to fight outside of his home. One interesting thing I would like to see about the Japanese superstar, a lot of fighters fare well at home in front of their crowd, even when fans are cheering for you. When he came down to America, it was during the corona epidemic, so there was no crowd. Another time he was here, he had a crowd, but the fans, they showed him respect. I wonder what's going to happen on the day they boo him and how he would receive that. Have he ever been booed? Interesting enough, you go into the fights with him and you could be yelling things out from the stand. He doesn't understand English, so he has no idea what you're saying. You could be yelling your mom's apple pie recipe to him. He wouldn't know what the hell you were saying. So in that mental aspect, you can't get at him because he don't know what the hell you're saying. So he's never engaged in a verbal confrontation where he's being out-talked or the guy's in his face like, bah, 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 because according to him, he's probably thinking in his head, you're saying to him, yes, I respect you a lot. I love you. You are the greatest fighter in the world. He's telling himself that, because he doesn't understand you. So there's sometimes when fighters go into a match, they allow the shit talking to affect them, and the other fighter can get in his head. you know. But that doesn't happen with this guy. The Japanese superstar really showed tonight that he is levels above a lot of the competition out there. You know, hats off to him and his team for securing all 4 belts. He made history. This will go down. He did it. He unified 2 weight divisions a little over a year and some change. It took him to do 2 weight divisions, unify both divisions. That's truly remarkable. So he's where does he go after the 122 pound? Could he move up and unify at a 3rd division? I spoke about this in my live. I believe if boxing got behind this man right here and pushed to show other boxers that if you got serious, this is the things you can do. These are the type of things you can accomplish. And that this is where the bar needs to be set for these kind of champions. Have a lot of these champions been given the opportunity back then when corruption was running rampant and promoters and networks didn't want to work with each other. And they held back a lot of these champions from having mega fights. Who knows what kind of champions some of these men and women could have become. As you can see, if you have skills and they allow you to fight those kind of fights, look at the things that we can accomplish. You probably hurt Sugar Ray Leonard. You probably hurt Floyd Mayweather. You probably hurt Marvis Hagler. You know, you probably hurt a lot of our legends, our American legends, held them back. Terrence Crawford. You know, these men could have been way better champions. But because of all these corruptions and promoters and networks not wanting to work with each other, they've deprived us of that. And now this Japanese man right here is getting the backing. And they're starting to see that it does make dollars and cents to allow these men to make these historical runs for greatness. And they see that this can be profitable too. And now they're like, yo, we got one. We got one. Bob Arum's like, man, he got one. You know, usually he has to help the guy out, hype him up, get him a couple low fights, stack up his, you know, Bob Arum knows what he's doing. With this guy, he doesn't have to do nothing. You don't have to control Naoya Inoue. You just got to unleash him. That's it. Just point him in the direction. That's it. And get out of his way. That's all. And that's a beautiful thing. Because if he's that kind of fighter, then damn it, let's see someone beat him. Right? Let's watch him rise throughout the division. Champion after champion. Let him write real legacy. No one standing in your way. No people, no politics. Let's see what real skill, how far real skill can take you. As you can see, they try to do that with Manny Pacquiao. They allowed Manny Pacquiao to fight what champion he wanted, how he wanted, once he got in position. And that was great. It wasn't his run fucking epic. Watching Manny Pacquiao run through division, yo, bro, that was legendary shit right there, right? And that's stuff we love to see. There's many men like this are not gonna come around so often. And now that he's here and we're witnessing it, man, come on, man. Let him do it. Let him do it. Don't stop him, man. Everybody in boxing right now, all you promoters, everybody, bro, this is going to help your fighters in the long run. If the kids coming up see this kind of record and they know that that's what they got to shoot for, come on. They know that's a lot of work right there. They're going to have to get serious. By allowing him to do what he's doing, it's going to help the sport in so many ways. There's an American kid right now watching this Japanese dude saying, I'm going to catch him. I'm going to be better than him. You got to get behind fighters like this. And that's what I'm saying. It's time. Naoya Inoue, in my book, is the most pound for pound, best pound for pound fighter in the world right now. And he took that title last night, this morning. He took that title from our American Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford can go into the fight against Errol Spence Jr. and beat Errol Spence Jr. I don't believe that will give him or solidify him back over Naoya Inoue. And that's what I mean. Somehow, some way, he should have got out of that rematch claw and tried to go for Jermell Charlo, which is the more logical of all the fights, instead of Saul Canelo Alvarez. Jermell Charlo still has 3 belts. I would have went after his ass. And that would have been a third right there. You know, you secure those 3, then Tim Tszju's going to want to fight you. You know, so, yeah. And that's where this hurts. Because even if he knocks out Errol Spence Jr. at 154 for no belts, that's for no belts. We already seen that fight. You just knocked out the same guy. How are we going to give you credit when the Japanese superstar is fighting a new opponent with 2 belts and unifying? Like, your fight will be for no belts, just bragging rights, and you just beat this guy viciously. That's not going to catapult you back over across the Japanese superstar, if you ask me. And it should not. It should not. It's the same guy you beat. It's nobody new. So, yeah. Look, if you feel like I do and you believe that this Japanese superstar is special, he is special. And what he is doing is truly, truly remarkable. It's not something unique because Terrence Crawford got there first, but it's the way he's doing it that separates him from other legends and other fighters. If you do enjoy boxing as much as I do, please give this video a like, share the video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Like always, I'm on to the next one. Peace.